Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am back once again on a late night Tuesday after the Wings and the Tigers have played. Yes, I hate to do these late night Tuesday shows, but I gotta watch my team. But before we begin this show the Tuesday after, I have prepared a statement. It goes like this. Um, First of all, to start it off, I was told that I spent too much time on GTA 5 last week after talking about that high production that it took to make the game and how much it sold in the first 3 days or 24 hours. That's the figure I gave. But lo and behold, the other figure I should have given was it sold over $1 billion worth. Now, mind you, that's a big deal. I don't care how you look at it, but that's a very big deal when it comes to a game like Grand Theft Auto. It's bigger than Madden. It's bigger than NHL. It's bigger than Tiger Woods. It pretty much makes all their bankrolls look paid. But I got slack from it. So I prepared a statement. A1. I am the owner of this show and the host called the Tuesday After. The Tuesday After consists of events, sporting and non-sporting. Whatever news catches my eye, I talk about it. Now, most of it's about the football highlights. Some of it's about baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, whatever. But whatever comes interest catches my eye, I shall talk about it. Like I'm gonna talk about these other things coming up later. But as for all y'all people that caught me slack about the GTA 5 theory, have you ever sold anything that's worth $1 billion? No, I don't think so. Um, so why give me slack for news that I give you? Uh, because this is the world, people. It ain't all about sports. Not today, it's not. I mean, it is on my show sometimes, but you don't hear 97.1 Ticket talk about sports and then talk about more sports. No, they talk about what's going on in the world too, especially when it's a slow sports day. So, for all you people who had a problem with GTA 5, man, give it a rest. You need to chill. Yeah, listen, there's a couple more people besides that too. But give it a rest. This is the world we live in, where video games and sports are connected. Believe me when I tell you, there would be no John Madden football if it wasn't for the man himself. It would be no Tiger Woods golf if it wasn't for the man himself. Jack Nicklaus couldn't sell those games. Lee Trevino couldn't sell those games. Hell, even a Wicked Course Wicked 18 couldn't sell those games. It wouldn't be no NHL hockey except for the National Hockey League. So it must be no Major League Baseball without Major League Baseball. So I'm telling y'all, people, please, in right hindsight, give it a rest. A for one, I am a gamer. Tried, true, however you want to word it, however you want to work it. I love sports, but hey, what can I say? I'm sitting in front of a TV right now with a PS3 of Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. Amen, baby. Now, what's my first love? I give you a hint. It wasn't hockey. 4 years old, I owned a ColecoVision. First two games were Donkey Kong and the Smurfs. Next game after, Space Invaders and Pac-Man. What can I say? That's my life and that's how I live. Anybody got a problem? Hit me up on the email. Dr. Mario 1031 at gmail.com. Or catch me a comment on YouTube. Okay, now that that's out the way, let's begin the show. First of all, we're going to start off with Thursday night. And those New York football little guys are now still owing what? Yeah, listen, I give it up because they played a heck of a game against the Chicago Bears. However, the Bears' offense and defense finally, and dare I not say it, finally stepped up to the plate. As I show the injustice, this is Wonder Woman. This is what this is all thing done right here. Wonder Woman versus Superman back here. Um, because I'm gonna tell you something. Even the Bears complete defense. Well, I gotta say with the real New York Giants, please step up because the Giants may go 1-7 and 0-8 by the time it's over. And an NFC least, as somebody else called it, who said on my comment page last week, and they're right, and they are the NFC least, used to be a powerhouse NFC East, they're going nowhere this year. It's all about the NFC North. Um, and thanks to the Bears defense holding up in the fourth quarter, I gotta say, they did a good job with Eli Manning and the New York Little Guys. Speaking of who, little guys, the Cleveland Browns. Uh, Listen, I'm not going to tell no lie. I do not like the Lions. I'm not going to tell no lie. I picked the Lions this week. Why? Who's worse than the Lions? The Cleveland Browns. They have no quarterback. They have no wide receivers. They have no defense. But at halftime, they were up 17-7. Now, mind you, at this great day and time, I thought that'd be an insult because Detroit Lions look exactly like who they were, the Detroit Lions of old. But finally, 24 points in a row, and they held the Browns to just 17 points total. I gotta admit, even me myself, they were pretty good. However, the Lions are still the Lions, and I do expect the second half collapse, no matter how you look at it. They were good without Calvin Johnson. What happened last week versus Green Bay when they didn't have Calvin? Well, they didn't have him again this week, but they scored. Coincidence? I think not. The defense stepped up good. The offense stepped up good. That's my injustice take for that one. Now, moving right along, man, I gotta call this one the Hitman. Why do I call this one the Hitman? You First of all, that's not the right pitch in the background. But the true Hitman is Klaus White. He was a mercenary soldier. And for the soldiers on the field on Sunday, the two greatest soldiers for the 4 o'clock game was Tom Brady and Drew Brees, going neck and neck, back and forth with the offensive defense of the New Orleans Saints and the New England Patriots. I tell you, that game was good. And if you missed it, you suck. Because if y'all were watching the supposedly 26-point blowout by the Broncos that didn't happen, y'all missed a good one down in New England because it was back and forth, back and forth. No quarterback wants to concede to the other. But considering the fact New England was at home, you give Brady a minute and 10 seconds to march 80 yards. No timeouts, get the middle of the field, hit wide receivers left and right. You expect Brady to lose? Come on, he's a 3-time Super Bowl winning quarterback. He went to the Super Bowl 4 times. You expect Brady to lose? No, not in that case. Now, speaking of our newly crowned 6-0 Denver Broncos, that 26-point spread against the Jacksonville Jaguars, first of all, I gotta say this. Would a real Jacksonville Jaguars please stand up? Because Sunday, I didn't know who you were. It's like a ghost possessed you and trying to say, we're going to beat these guys for their first loss. Mind you, Peyton Manning still Peyton Manning. However, he did throw an interception that game, which shocked me because I expected Denver to go from 49, 56. Hey, they could have went to 100. I really didn't care. But the Jacksonville defense held Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos offense to 35 points while putting up 19 points on their own accord. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that the point spread wasn't 10 points and 26 points because we all know any point spread that big never gets covered. But good job 6-0 Denver Broncos. Another 6-0 team I like to talk about is the Kansas City Football Chiefs, who they want us to talk about renaming the Native American mascot that they do the Raiders. Don't do it, please, because these guys are symbols of our American heritage. You say we're offending people? Stop it. It's not happening. I'm not offended. I'm part Native American. Hell, I've been more offended by slavery by our mascot. Now, they call them the Kansas City Blackface. I wouldn't be offended because it's still a football team. They're loved in Kansas City. I know it wouldn't happen because of the racist term, but hey, 6-0 against the Oakland Raiders that John Madden formed. Formed 30 years ago, but 30 or 40 years ago, but still formed their culture and still proud of them. But it looked like Oakland was going to get the jump on KC. It didn't happen. KC came rumbling, stumbling back, and touchdown after touchdown of the field goal. Stumped the Oakland Raiders. Finally, put them to the ground 24-7. Good job, KC. I like that. Speaking of teams that finally get off the slide, we're finally The Pittsburgh Steelers have come back to the NFL. They finally won a game. Now, mind you, everybody picked the New York Football Jets. Me, I was teetering back and forth between the Jets or the Steelers. But you gotta understand, I know the Steelers. You can't stop Big Ben forever. And the Steel Curtain defense in Pittsburgh. And they didn't. You wanna know what happened? The Steel Curtain finally did what he's supposed to do. Big Ben still needs work, but the Steel Curtain finally showed up. And they finally earned that more important #1 victory. 8 more to go to make the playoffs. Good luck. Uh, Speaking of barn burners again, the Dallas Football Cowboys, America's so-called team, against the Washington Redskins on Sunday night. Um, Dallas put a whooping on RG3 and company. They tried. RG3's trying to come back to his former self, but Romo finally proved that he's not the choke of the fourth quarter. 31-16. Go Cowboys. I don't like y'all, but I gotta give y'all props because y'all did what y'all supposed to do. Um, Meanwhile, I gotta touch on something else. Um, it was a shellacking, and I do admit I hated that the St. Louis Rams beat the Houston Texans. I hated that, but for my #1 dummy, I mean these guys are worse than idiots. These guys are dummies. I mean, first of all, let's start off to it leading towards the game. The week of the Houston Texans versus the St. Louis Rams. People go to Matt Schaub's home, stalk him, and critique him at his house, follow him to restaurants, humiliate him in front of his family. And then on Sunday, Schaub gets hurt. And they're cheering because he got hurt, because they don't like the guy. Houston Texans fan base, grow up, because I've seen worse guys in paparazzi. No, I take that back. I've seen better guys in paparazzi. Cheering when a man gets down, that is very unacceptable in sports today. You guys suck Major League ball. Y'all was stuck in gang rape ball. I'm telling you, you guys are just horrible. Now, the players of the Houston Texans, after the 31-3 loss to St. Louis Rams, they stepped up and said, "You are not supposed to do that. This is your quarterback. This is the guy you're supposed to cheer for." I admit he makes mistakes. You can boo him when he does wrong, but don't cheer for him when he gets hurt off the field. You guys suck. Now, I know it's not all of y'all, but for real, you guys suck balls. And I mean that wholeheartedly. You guys are disgraced to call yourself Texans fans. Disgrace. Matt Schaub, I hope you do better. Come back. And if you go to another team, that's fine. I have no problem with you. Torch the Texans if you do. That's my opinion. Um, Meanwhile, my second idiot, I got another one. It hurts my bones. Um, Jim Leyland, Game 2 ALCS, Boston Red Sox versus Detroit Tigers. Yes, the game was in Fenway. Yes, I did not watch it because, first of all, when I turned it on, it was 5-1 Tigers. Scherzer pitched 108 pitches and said he was spent. You're a starting pitcher, Scherzer. You're not supposed to be spent. 130, yes. 108, no. Um, but you bring in the relief in the eighth inning. They don't do the Tigers bullpen have been stuck in all year. They've been good. They have bright spots, but they've been stuck in all year. But base loaded, my pet peeve, you pitch to David Ortiz. You pitch to a guy known as Big Papi. You pitch to a guy who in 2004 brought the Red Sox back from the dead to beat the New York Yankees 4 games in a row. You pitch to this guy who has all power in his arms, can swing the ball out of Fenway Park. And what he do? He hits the grand slam. Oh, that hurt. But then, make it so bad. The Tigers do lose the game, and they lose it wholeheartedly, 6-5. Again tonight, they did lose 1-0 off of one mistake by Justin Verlander. Now, I'm gonna touch on this before I move on to the third guy. Um, Justin Verlander is human. Do not hurt him. Do not hit on him. Do not criticize him. Every pitcher makes one mistake. However, criticize the Tigers' offense. 7 guys left on base in scoring position. All you have to do is knock the guy in, especially in the 8th inning, first and third, 1 out. Ugh. I don't know what to say. I'm appalled. I am. I'm just. Oh. But the Tigers lose again. They're now down 2-1 in the series. Do I think the Tigers will win? Yes, I do. Do I think they'll make it to the World Series? As a Tiger fan, yes, I do. As a realist, you need to stop making those mistakes. Enough said. Finally, my third and most final guys, listen, I'm gonna tell you. I'll be straight up wholehearted with you. Guys, we ourselves, we're done. Yes, I said it. We are the straight innocent. We think we know everything. Problem is, we don't. However, if you are somebody, and there's been a lot of you on YouTube, on this channel, who think you know it all about a certain subject, please stop. It's like a game I once had. You don't know Jack. Period. Because if you think you know, you're like Cisco and Ebert. You think Batman was a bomb. The original Batman in 1989, starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicklaus, who gave the 2 guys that gave Batman 2 thumbs down. Yes, I saw the review, which means I'm telling my age. Please stop. Then you got the whole game backwards. I'm putting you in this category because let's start off with guys who think they know everything. Kwame Kilpatrick, mayor of Detroit, famous proud black man, mayor of Detroit, who thinks that he has the whole city wrapped on his pinky finger like he was Don Corleone. He had a wife. He had kids who showed up to the Westside Cubs field. Y'all know where Westside Cubs used to play at. I'm not gonna say it, but y'all know I used to play on Boston. And yeah, this is a boy. Y'all have to bear with me. Y'all know that he was so good. He had Detroit wrapped around his little finger. He had a mistress, a high school sweetheart, who worked for the city for 13 years. His best friend from ways on in, his father was in on it too. Guys, we think we know everything. We think we're too big-headed on ourselves. Unfortunately, what happened to Kwame? 28 years. And says, oh, Barney Ferguson was never my friend. I have no love for Christine Beatty. I'm sorry for I deal with my wife and kids. Stop it. You need to stop it. It's not happening. Okay, I'll give you another prime example. All these brothers out here who have children, who think they know the grass is greener on the other side, or was playing around with that grass on the other side. Stop it. It's not happening. Because one day, you're going to be like my man in Dante's Inferno, part of Purgatory, and end up in the Inferno in the ninth circle of hell. Now, if you don't know the ninth circle of hell, anybody who thinks hell is hot is dumb. Hell is not hot. The hottest place in hell is ice freaking cold. That's why they say you have the heart cold as ice. That's treachery. That's the ninth circle of hell. The third thing is, guys are so idiotic is that we forget our past. We forget where we came from. But yet we can talk about, oh, we're going to be this way. No. We learn from our mistakes. This is what we do. This is how we are. And believe me when I tell you, I've been down that road. Now, I've traveled the line time and time again. But mind you, I have been happily married for 7 years with my wife I've known. Coming up November 2nd, it'll be 8 years. Um, I don't know everything. Although I am Mr. Know-It-All, I do gotta admit, I am great in God and everything. I don't know everything. But it kills me to see some of the guys tell me, oh, you need to do this when you're out here doing it. Stop it. You don't make my mark on this video. I'm sorry. You're in the Hall of Shame. Finally, I'm going to touch on this and I'm going to let it go because, yes, I am running long again another 22-minute video. Thank you. Hallelujah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Alright. I got to touch on this. I got to. Because y'all, I can't walk away from this. I can't walk away from this underhanded. And I wish it would change. Yes, it does finally change. But I got to touch on this. Last light, this game right here. Beyond Two Souls. Yes, I'm talking about another video game. Haters want to hate. Get out of here. Because I did talk about Castlevania in my first show. But haters want to hate. Balls with a ball. This is my song. My time. Y'all get out. Anyways, Beyond Two Souls takes you in the life of a girl who has a spirit who protects her. I call it that because that's how it turned out to be. However, this spirit has a mind of its own. She goes from birth with this spirit, and she's not an adult with this spirit. Have I beaten this game yet? No, but I'm pretty far, and I like the way this game's going. I like the outcome of it. Now, if you are not scared of the spirit realm, I'm going to touch a little insight on you. Yes, this is my last subject. My season will talk about religion. Indeed. Now, I know I'm getting a lot of looks, so you have to excuse me. This will be quick. If all y'all know Final Fantasy games, you know God is a reference. Period. In all of them. 1 through 13, including Tactics. You know there's Crusade, like in Dante's Inferno. We all go for a cause and a purpose. We all do. But we all don't understand the other person and how they live and how they walk. Which is true, because some of us don't know what the other person's like, how the other person walks in the shadow. Yes, we may see this person. Yes, we may do the things that we may do the things that they do, and say, I'm sorry, see the things that they do, judge the things that they do, and react on the things that they do. But we do not know this other person and how they've been through. We may meet them, we may walk up to them, we may say hi to them. However, we do not know what they've been about and what they've been like. This happened to me recently, and I'm just going to say this like this. If you are a man of the cloth, or a man of the spirit, because we don't know, you can believe in God, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Thor, Hercules, Zeus, whoever. You can believe in whoever you can believe that listen, you bow down to him, Steve Eisen, you bow down to him. Barry Sanders, Tiger Woods, you know what I'm trying to say. But until you walk in another guy's shoes, you don't know nothing. And it pains me to say this because I have a friend of mine who I've seen 2 weeks ago at my house, and I mentioned this. Yeah, he got married, but I found out some other stuff about him. And I do gotta admit, it made a couple party members upset at him. But me personally, I'm not upset at him. Why? Yes, he said these things. Yes, he said story after story after story. But you do not know, I do not know what's going on in his life. And for that, for me, I'd rather talk to him and find out what's going on instead of not just stop talking to him altogether. and judge and judge because this is not the way that I was raised. This is not the way that we're taught. If you play Final Fantasy, this is not the way that you're taught in the game to judge people. You are taught to walk along the righteousness path and keep it pushing. However, there are a lot of people that don't do that. And that I could say for another episode because this is going to drive me. Let's push for 30-minute mark. But I'm going to say this. The Bible says, and it said this in Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6, and 7, judge ye not be judged. It also says, ye without sin cast the first stone. I don't cast no stones because I've sinned a lot. I'm not casting no stones because I've judged a lot. I'm not going to lie, I have. But I've now become a more humble man. And I hope you do too. And I hope that this message of peace and tranquility comes straight to you. Now, as for Beyond Two Souls, you need to play this game. If you're not cheating, because it is scary. There are spirits. Yes, we walk around with them every day. And you need to play this game. It's awesome. I'll tell you. This has a great storyline. People who are more than sports, you need to play this. Alright, one more note, then I gotta get out of here. The 12th, October 12th was my late grandmother's birthday. She passed in 2005. And there was a comment made that you need to celebrate the birthday. Well, I celebrate birthdays all day. I got 4 grandparents in class, and I celebrate everyone their birthdays by celebrating the day that they died. Yes, I know it's strange. This is what I do. Lucky enough for two grandparents, I could do it on Christmas Eve and Christmas by looking at the smiles of the kids' faces. The other two I have to do on separate times. One a year after one before the year ends, another one when the new year begins. And I gotta admit, without them four, I'll never be the man I am today. And well, I gotta take that back. Without them four and my two parents who are urged to watch this video, although I do talk about sports a lot, and I do talk about video games. Without y'all, I would not be the man I am. And I'm proud of that. I am. Y'all have to excuse me, I have a cold. But I talk almost 30 minutes of your time. Meanwhile, I'm getting out of here. That's my touching moment. I love y'all. Peace out. Till we meet again next week. Hopefully these videos become shorter. And hopefully I'll stop running my mouth. But hey, I'm becoming another, hold on, Mr. Know-It-All. Tomorrow, 10:31, signing off. It was 28 minutes and about 45 seconds on this 45 seconds on this video. Saying, live long and prosper. And I'm doing it because I can't do it with Peace out. Bye, everybody. I'm out of here.